And we're live. It's Friday Facts with Ian Batra and Andrew Nguyen here. We're coming at you to give you the weekly real estate market update, and then we'll chat a little today with Andrew, and we'll talk about what's going on out there. Just I'll run through it real quick. We had a little uptick in inventory. Record low we hit last week with Friday Facts, on our Friday Facts we mentioned we were down to about 350 units in Santa Clara County. We're up to 441. Still record low. It's just we had a little uptick. Last year this time we were already probably starting to push towards 1,000 again. So we're super low. List to sale price ratio, obviously we knew December's a red hot market, so now we're almost 111.8, so almost 112%. Most of last year we were running about 106% list to sale price ratio in Santa Clara County, and then average price we're about to break the 1.4 million mark. We're at 1,398 median price point in Santa Clara County. But that being said, obviously Andrew, red hot market out there. So I wanted to ask you some questions because you've been with our team for a little while. You're one of our top agents on our team. You helped quite a few families last year with nothing on the market, just this crazy market out there. Tell me, in this market, it's hard to even just find a house. So what are you doing that's helping your clients in the home search process right now?
Sure. So, obviously, like at most agents, I send a lot of listings that are on the market that kind of fit my clients' criteria. But I also go above and beyond, and I make sure that all of the off-market homes, I have lists of hundreds and hundreds of off-market homes in Santa Clara County and other counties nearby. That I send to my clients, because if you're able to see a home before it hits the market, that gives you a huge competitive advantage. For example, last year we had a home that we got into contract because we made a preemptive offer before the first day of open houses. So it never actually hit the market for open houses, and we were able to secure a great property for a great price for my clients. So that's one of the big things we like to do, is to try to find those things that are not quite public knowledge, so that we can get a jump on the competition.
Basically, knowledge is power. You're getting them information ahead of time, as well as going out and doing the due diligence ahead of time. Now, obviously, that's the home search process. Well, now we found the home in front of us. Market's insane. Tell me a little about that process, because obviously, you've put some in contract where, we've had clients where I was wondering if we'd be able to get these clients a house, and you were managed to get the client from process and get them in and get them into contract at a great price. What are some of the things you're doing to get those clients the houses that they want?
Sure. So a lot of what I do centers around making sure that we can make the most competitive offer possible. Because in this market, having the best terms and having a good price, all of those go hand in hand, because we have so many offers coming in on most properties that in order to stand out, you have to kind of go above and beyond. So one of the things I like to do, for example, is even if my clients have a loan, I like to drop the loan contingency by doing what's called advanced underwriting, which takes care of all of that process ahead of time. I like to be very aggressive on contingencies, so that we don't necessarily have to win on price alone. If we get a tie but we happen to have better terms, oftentimes we can win just because we have better terms. And so I kind of prepare my clients as soon as possible to be competitive when we make our offers.
So if I'm hearing you correct, there's a process of due diligence that happens up front.
Yeah.
From the loan side, from the inspection side, from everything you're doing. You're basically preparing your client to make a safe but competitive offer.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Like you said, more knowledge is power on that front. Well, now we've gotten into contract. We got a price, we got everything. Tell me a little about the process of now contract to close. Because, in real estate, people know finding the home is difficult. Once you find a home you like, getting the home is difficult. Well, now we got to go from contract to close. So what are some of the things you're doing along those lines?
Right. So at that point, I become more of a project manager to a certain extent. I make sure that all the timelines are met, earnest money is in. I make sure I basically schedule out all the inspections if we have any inspections. If those inspections come back with more damage than we thought was there originally, then we go back into negotiations with the seller, because anything that we find, they have to disclose to any future buyers if we get out of contract. So that actually gives us a little bit more leverage than we would normally have. So that's kind of the time where we can kind of finalize what's really going to happen, and then close the deal out, make sure that the loan closes, and then get the keys to the client.
Now, you've really, one of the things that you've impressed me with, since joining our team and in many of your transactions is that whole process of inspections and negotiation, and you're really good at it. You were telling me a little earlier about different levels of problems, handyman, contractor problems. Tell me a little about that, how you break down those inspections.
Sure. So when I do my due diligence, reading over the inspections that they have, and also that, if we have our own inspections and looking over those inspections, like in a property inspection, for example, there are kind of two levels of problems. There's contractor problems and there's handyman problems. Contractor problems are generally things that are going to be high-ticket items to fix, problematic, kind of red flags in my opinion, because anytime I see something like that, I want to make sure that my client is very well aware of kind of the price tag that's attached to that particular issue.
What are a couple examples of what would be a contractor problem versus a handyman problem?
Sure. So a contractor problem could be something like, hey, there's structural issues, maybe there's floor, like the floor is not level. That could be an issue. Maybe there's some sort of foundation issues. Maybe there's cracks by the windows, at the corner of the windows and at the corner of the doors, which can indicate settling, which could be a problem. Those could be major structural things, problems with the house that you need a tradesperson who's licensed to fix. Whereas handyman fixes are things like, which you'll often see in property inspections, are things like leaky faucet or shower door incorrectly installed. Things like that. Things that you could pay somebody a nominal sum to fix. Mm-hmm. And sometimes property inspections have a lot of those, but at the same time, those are not generally red flags. Those are not things that I think are deal killers.
You take a bunch of $10, $15 problems and add them up, you got to pay someone a few $100s to come out and tighten all the doors and fix a few faucets, but it's not going to be, you're not going to break the bank, and it's something that you can kind of use, and you can leverage or know that it might hopefully scare off other buyers from buying a house that have a bunch of easy problems to fix. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to everybody. Again, Andrew, incredible. I mean, I always tell people that when Andrew works with a client, he treats the client's money like it's his own. Meaning he works for his client, he goes above and beyond, and he'll fight for your money like it's your own. And I mean, incredible. So really appreciate you taking the time. This has been Friday Facts. Again, market's insane. Need to get a great agent? Give us a call. Andrew can take you out, show you properties, get you your dream home. We will see you next week for Friday Facts. And thank you guys again who have tuned in live, and thank you guys for everybody who's watching this on the replay.
Thank you.